As required by the Open Public Meetings Act of 1975, adequate notice, this meeting was provided on January 14th, 2021 by publication of notice in the express times and posting of said notice in the municipal building on the same date. Mayor Barsney?
Here.
Mr. Baylor?
Here.
Mr. Beam?
Here.
Mr. Marqueta?
Here.
Ms. McDermott?
Here.
Mr. Lavery?
Here.
Mr. Finelli?
Here. Please stand for flag salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting from October 21st.
I'll make the motion.
Anybody want a second? I'll second. Anybody have any corrections? Discussion or any of that? Roll call.
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
Looking for a motion to accept the treasurer's report in the November bill list. Anybody want to make that motion?
Make the motion.
Second? Second. Anybody have any questions? Need anything pulled?
No, nothing cool, but we do have a question for Mike Finelli. Frank, same question coming. On the, your LUB board bills, where it says for planning for the meeting and such like that, because normally most of your payments get pulled out of a developer's escrow because it's related to that. So these couple of last bills that preparation, is that in relationship to the master plan?
Didn't say escrow on. That's
It
why.
did say escrow,
Just-
so
it
they're
didn't
taking
really
that in.
describe what they
But the
were
land
for.
use board's engineering budget line is exceptionally small because it's, you're usually.
Right.
So we're just trying to identify what line item that really should be. And
Well-
should that be master plan? Because I mean, that's been conversations in the last couple of meetings.
To be honest with you, there's probably maybe a little bit of it that goes there, but Kendra has really obviously taken the lead on that. I've given her some info and so forth, but there, let's say the meeting's an hour and a half. An hour gets built to an escrow. The other half an hour is, the organizational component and resolutions and maybe an executive or just general discussion. So that just gets, I guess, gets built to the engineering item in the
Okay,
land use board
all
budget.
right.
I mean, it can't be a whole lot of time or dollars.
No, but with that being said, it's already over what little amount is budgeted for engineering. So, but none of it says master plan. So if you're 45 minutes with the master plan, you just make sure to mark, because that's a different line item.
Okay.
And then we'll have to adjust the LUB's engineering number for next year. That's all. We're just trying to clarify. But is that about right how we wanted to talk about it, Shannon, right? Okay.
No problem.
That it? Anybody else? Roll call?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
Looking for a motion to accept the tax collector's tax and sewer reports for October.
I'll make the motion.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Anybody have any questions or comments on those? Roll call.
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
Police Department. You have anything you want to add to your report, or you just want us to accept the written one?
I'm sorry. I don't think I have anything I would like to add there.
No?
No.
Well, I was talking to Lily, and the trucks were doing good, but I think they've gotten bad again. Back out on South Main. How about North Main, Paul?
Pardon?
How the trucks on North Main?
You're gonna have a resident come in here tonight for open public comment, and that will give you a general idea that it's not so good.
Okay.
There was a accident on 78 today.
That could pile the problem.
173 kind of really bad.
Truck drivers.
Unfortunately, when they divert traffic, that's where the tractor trailers, they divert them to, because there's nowhere else to go. If 78 is all shut down like that, so
Oh, for like today you're talking?
yes.
Yeah, but I mean, in general, they're seem to have been knocked down a little bit over on my end, but it's
But
back.
they're back.
I've even seen CR England's back.
But 78
Yeah.
wasn't shut down, it was just down to one lane.
Yeah, but it was backed up like 8 miles.
And
Okay.
sometimes when they
We
do
gotta
that,
wait.
if it's not shut down, even when it's down to one lane, they divert traffic.
Okay,
But also, we are gonna get an influx of truck traffic. A roundabout way, I don't know if you know about the warehouse on Strikers Road there, just put up in Lopakon Township.
Chief's got even more information.
That is the large facility, once you go down Strikers Road, it's on the left, coming from our township. That's being leased out to the US Postal Service. It's a distribution center for the Postal Service. So there's gonna be a lot of truck traffic, and they should be taking the truck route, which is 78 to 22 in down 519 down to Strikers. We have been seeing a little bit of traffic from that coming through our town. And you know, that's minimum, but with the holiday season coming up, they estimate that truck traffic is going to be pretty bad. Is going to be approximately 800 trucks a day. We are
and we're only at like 30% capacity. The warehouse in Pohat's not even built yet.
we are working with the Postal Service. They're keeping Lopakon Township and myself. We had a meeting with their whole facility when it was opened up. Or actually, it was already opened up and running, but just giving us a tour of it. They are in touch with us about using us for this truck traffic as an overtime job, and something that I'll discuss with you later once we get all the information from them, exactly what they want to do. But it is going to essentially bring in all that truck traffic and kind of tie up that until they can, you know, unload those trucks. So we're trying to come up with something to stage those trucks somewhere, because if they're all backed up on that road, it's going to block up that road pretty bad.
Yeah, it's already been blocked. I'm fielding calls already about just them engine braking down 22. Residents in Greenwich Chase are upset. It's like 5 in the morning.
So-
I think
And
we-
now they're going to be cutting through cars. Yeah, obviously traffic's going to be diverted through Greenwich Chase.
Well, that should not be happening.
Well,
And
if
our
it's backed
plans of
up.
that do not, that's what we're trying to do is we're going to be, trying to go around that because they can't go down.
You're talking about the trucks.
Do
Yeah.
I'm not
He's talking about the
I'm talking
cars. We're
cars.
trying to avoid the trucks.
They're
Oh,
gonna
the car,
cut
oh,
through,
going
yeah.
through, it's
It's increasing traffic.
Now it's
flow.
going to bring it out to Dumont, where obviously that's going to be an issue eventually with affordable housing site
Yeah.
and traffic ready.
And also 639 again, with all the trucks and stuff
gotta
and
be a
they
way to
come up
solve
again. Are 10-wheelers allowed to go down that road and go up 579?
It's all portioned to what their weight is, their gross vehicle weight on the truck.
They're
So-
allowed to go down, I thought trucks weren't allowed on that road.
Well, so in our township,
Mhm.
it's in Pohatcon Township that the sign is marked that they're not allowed to come through. If they come onto Warren Glen, they're gonna be coming off of 173. So they're on a weight restricted road to get there.
They're coming both ways.
Yeah, but I mean,
They're
as far as
using it
us,
like a-
if we're gonna stop them and issue a summons, it's gonna be on 173. It's not gonna be on 639 because the postage is on that road before they get to 639. But I don't know if that answers your question.
Rich, I missed it. Who's asking you to look into staging the trucks? Is that,
Well, the US Postal Service is looking for a place, so we're trying to, myself and Chief Garcia from Lopakon Township are trying to find them a place that would be suitable. Just trying to alleviate this problem because it's gonna be something that we have to deal with, I mean, whether we like it or not. So they
it has to
are,
conform to zoning though, right? I mean, they just can't stage them anywhere.
well, no, correct. One of the things that came up was the old SMP lot, which is,
What's
you know,
that?
the old,
Trucking company that was there. Next to the-
right next to the
SMP.
Phillipsburg, East Honda. It
Oh,
was a large trucking outfit that was there previously.
yeah, here's the problem though.
No.
Once you do it once, they ain't never going away. That'll become a truck stop.
Well, that was Well, I don't know exactly what that business dealt with, but there was trucks parked in
It's
that
been a
lot.
trucking terminal since it was built. It's built
Yeah, I mean, it was
forever.
yellow freight before.
Yeah,
SL.
but there weren't a million warehouse, there weren't all this warehouse stuff now. So now if it's active again, it's just gonna become a truck stop. That's I think it's gonna happen.
That influx in truck traffic with the trucks should only be during the holiday season. That's what they're estimating, which would be just December. Obviously, it's still gonna be truck traffic coming in and out there, but not anywhere near the level of the holiday season.
There's no way to divert it back into low pat.
It could go back to low pad, but it's still gonna circle right back through. I mean,
They can't make a left out of it.
Nah, it's well,
It's illegal to make a left out of
what are
it.
you talking about in low pack on Township?
Coming out of that warehouse, you have to make a right at the Greenwich. Isn't that convenient?
Oh, when they're parking.
When they're coming out of that
Right there.
warehouse, they have to make a right and go through Greenwich. Very convenient.
yeah, I'd rather them look at changing that back where they have to send it back to them.
So that's why I think Brian's saying, let's send it the other way.
Yeah. Send it the other way.
We're gonna have to deal with it even if it goes that way, because it's gonna come back right back around to us. I assume that's probably what they would do. But it's not like we can restrict them and tell them you can't come back to our town, so.
Yeah, but I don't they do studies and they aren't they restricted to how much trucks can come and go at a certain time? Mike, doesn't that
Like,
part of
can we
the,
pull their
isn't that
original
all part of
plans?
the plan? Mike,
What was
When
that
you-
again, Frank?
when you do zoning for a warehouse.
Right.
Isn't part of the plan, a traffic study and how much is allowed?
Yeah.
I mean, you could just
Sure, I
have
mean,
them.
that would be part of the overall
So-
analysis of the area.
So if their overall analysis says they can have nonstop trucks, does that only make sense to me?
But.
Problem is, it's
That's-
keeping
So
it-
that's-
this almost sounds like this could be a legal
Yeah,
issue
that's
for
what I'm
us,
thinking.
because they're allowing business there that they probably never even approved when they built the building. And now we gotta go and find staging places for it.
Well, that's bizarre, but to be.
We
that's-
we don't have to do, as far as staging, no, it's just.
No, but if you don't do it, then we get the traffic. I know why you're doing it.
Right.
We get the traffic. The point is, they don't have a maximum amount of trucks that are allowed to go in and out of there. I think we need to look
Well,
into that.
It's kind of a little more complicated than that, because you know how zoning works, Frank. There's gonna be either an FAR or an impervious coverage component in the zone. Obviously, warehouses were permitted use in that zone in low PATCOM.
But they approve a certain amount of truck traffic as part of. the
Well,
approval.
no, they approve the use. And it's acting as a warehouse. The problem is they probably, the use as a postage distribution center is probably at the top end of traffic generating uses. That's the problem. Because of, just think about it.
So
All the
let me
mail
ask you
come
a
in and
question.
out and in and out.
This has to get approved by the land use board.
Yes.
They have to make a presentation on the expected truck traffic to the land use board for them to approve it, right?
Well, I go almost, no, I shouldn't put it that way. I would be very surprised if there was any testimony provided during the approval process in Lopatcom, and I don't know, that they said one of the potential users of this warehouse will be the US Post Office as a postal distribution
So
center.
that's what I'm saying. They have to say, this is the expected truck traffic.
Yes.
This is
they're-
how many trucks
Yeah,
will be
they
generated.
undoubtedly
This
did
is
it.
at the
Yes,
time
yes.
And then that information is given to the land use board,
Yep.
and then they make their decision based on
That is, you are right. That is
So now,
absolutely
if
correct.
they made a decision based on false information, right? I don't know,
Well-
sounds like a legal loophole to me. I don't know. I'll ask Mike.
I'm also worried about the businesses
Me
and,
too.
the shopping center too. Less people are gonna wanna drive, obviously, say to Rath's if it's a traffic jam.
Yep.
With trucks.
Oh, Ras will definitely
No,
Take it.
I was
Oh,
with him last
oh.
night and he definitely has a problem with it.
with Matt.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, rats is definitely, it's not gonna be good for them,
No.
for sure, unfortunately.
So if this type of use generates this type of traffic, there's nothing that we could say about it, Mike?
I don't know that there's anything we could say. I mean, we could ask Oprah request the file on that particular application, but like Mike said, they'll have traffic engineers that come in and say, well, we think it's gonna generate this many trips, but then unless the resolution limits them to like 200 truck trips a day, which would be odd.
Right.
The interesting thing is, usually with the federal government, like the sovereigns, whether it's the county or whether it's Greenwich in your own town, but since that's privately owned and they're just renting it, they wouldn't have that. I was kind of thinking this through as you guys were talking, so they wouldn't have that protection. But I think the starting point would be, let's take, we could Oprah request their file on that application and just take a look at what was submitted to the land use board and what was represented.
So,
I mean, 'cause
Well,
these are
yeah,
only
I
gonna get
have it in
worse,
new
obviously.
business anyways.
why don't we start there?
It's easy enough. It's a simple request.
I think then just also holding every single truck driver that comes out of that warehouse accountable for, the law. Just with residents having to hear now the engine braking all night is gonna be ridiculous. 800 trucks is that the quality of life of them having to hear that's, I mean, I hear it already, but right next to their homes, it's not gonna be good.
Do you need a motion for that, Mike, to get the Oprah request done? I'll make a motion to get an Oprah request on the approvals for that warehouse.
I'll second it.
Anybody questions, comments?
Who's going to, excuse me, Bob, but is Lisa gonna do the Oprah or with help from maybe Mike and I? As far as what to ask for?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I also want to, I want to
Okay.
find out too about that turn directing everything to Greenwich. And I think I know why,
Well,
because of the hill and. the
no, yeah, I
sideways.
know why. I mean,
Yeah.
that we have investigated and we've talked about this on a few occasions over the last couple of years. They, unfortunately, trucks entering the facility, there's two driveways. Let's put it, the northernmost driveway is unrestricted. And you can allow movements in and out both directions. The southernmost driveway, the one closest to the creek and closest to the Greenwich boundary, is restricted for a truck making a right turn because of sight distance. The restriction is the truck making the left turn. It's right turn only exiting because of the limited sight distance. That is a flaw in the approval process, in my opinion, because I'd like to think,
Well,
if I put
I
my
like-
land use board engineering hat on, not necessarily my municipal engineering hat, I would have brought that up like early on, like, whoa, wait a second, why are we now,
add one
why
other
are you
thing to that.
forcing all these trucks in?
I'll add one other interesting thing. That light on 57 and Strikers
Well, yep,
is ridiculous.
as far as the
Why would
the
anybody-
phasing
Yeah,
of it.
yeah, you're stuck on strike. Nobody's gonna want to go that way. You're gonna sit, I sit at that light and there's not even a lot of
Yeah,
traffic.
I mean, a simple Q study.
Yeah, I know.
That would,
So that's forcing people to go the other way too.
Right, because the phasing of the light is such that 57 obviously gets, most of
But it's,
the green
it's real
time.
quick too, if you're on Strikers going.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
yeah.
let's one or two cars
Now
through.
it's changing already.
Yep, so that also is gonna direct traffic towards Greenwich. So-
Sure.
That's abandoned Strikers rather than close it down.
I'm gonna pay
I remember when it was half.
Can we do that, Mike?
It's your road, right?
Yeah.
The only thing I gotta check is if they terminate on like a county or a
Oh,
state road, then you
No, I
have,
would do that too.
then you have a problem. I'll check that.
The rats could actually add all the parking in there.
No, Matt would pay us.
Creative.
I would
Bye.
gladly do that.
Yeah, I would too.
Well, Mike, let the rats do it.
He said-
Let's have some reconstruction going on.
Oh,
It's a headline news with that.
okay, I think we're still waiting
Yeah.
for roll call on that
We
motion,
have
right?
to-
No, we didn't do it. It's his report. Are you done?
Other than you.
Wait, did we ever vote on the motion?
No.
No.
Okay, that's what we did. He did make a motion. We gotta do the roll call on
That's
the
right,
motion.
yeah.
Okay, Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
Okay, chief.
Nothing really other than the monthly report being a busy month of October, 20 arrests and 2 DUIs. Call volume at 1,348 calls, so it was pretty high. Is there any questions about the monthly report or the overtime report? Sure, overtime report is about the same as it was last year, this time. Couple hours more, and any questions?
Good. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Joe, you want to talk or just?
No need to. Just I'll highlight a couple things real
Oh.
quick. I took care of the drain problem in front of 632 South Main Street in front of Mrs. Little's house. The sidewalk is not, don't have a pond on it. And we finished up sinkholes from hurricane or tropical storm Ida up over on Parker. We had a truck sized one, and over on Chrisman Drive, we had a few small ones from.
Well, I see the county did some work too down there too, right? They put some new piping in and stuff too for drains there, South Main.
Yes, they just wrapped up their job here. They put a new drain in at the bottom of that field entrance, a new double E drain in there.
That's a couple of things they've helped us a lot on the last couple of years, the county with the roads. They've been pretty responsive.
And just one other thing was pointed out to us when the county and us were out there, our footbridge there on the bank across from there, that block wall, the upstream block wall had some way either got water, and it looks like that one time a tree was down in the creek and it took water, knocked that block wall down and started to erode underneath the sidewalk and behind the head wall. So we've made the repair to that. And I think we're gonna run out of warm weather time, but we're gonna repaint that bridge structure down there.
I saw you and Jeff down there a couple of times.
Yes, that's what else we were doing over there. So that's all repaired.
Okay. How about the sinkholes over on the Warren Glen Road? I tell you, the one property owner came up to me, thanked me for you, I guess.
Yes,
For
yes,
your quick response and
Yeah.
taking care of that. And,
Yeah. He see me, he was
very,
out there.
very appreciative of it. So I just want to make sure you got that. Okay. That it, Joe?
Yes.
Lisa, you have anything you specifically want to talk about?
No, I think the only thing that if we wanted to take action tonight was scheduling some budget meetings, but that was one thing I just highlighted to remind you.
Okay, let's do that on new business, right?
Yep.
Okay. ACO report, I said there was only one call, so I guess there's nothing to talk about there, right? Court reports, Paul, anything you want to say?
Nope.
or-
Everything's good.
Okay. Anybody else have anything under these? Okay, I'm looking for a motion to accept the consent agenda, the police department report, Department of Public Works report, township clerk's report, ACO report, and court report. Everyone make the motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. Anybody have any other further questions, comments, discussion on those items? Roll call.
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
Committee reports. Anybody have anything to report from committees?
Yeah, I did. Recreation, they wanted an approval for a new member, Eric Blum, to fill Stuart Lloyd's vacant position.
You making that recommendation?
Yeah, making that recommendation.
Okay, I guess that's my appointment, right? But with their consent. Okay. So I'll appoint Eric to the rec commission. We need to do a roll call on that. Anybody has any objections or questions on it, I guess? We
No.
okay with it?
Mhm.
Okay, so he's appointed.
Vicky, did you have anything?
Yes, actually, LabQ is no longer doing the COVID testing over at the middle school because there just wasn't enough participation from the community. So they're not doing that free testing anymore. Also, some good news, the Stewartsville Middle School made it into the US News and World Report in the top 30% of schools in New Jersey. They were actually if you do the math, they were in the top 15%. but the way they lumped the report was in 30%. And that was, a lot of that was influenced by the teacher-student ratio. So we want to congratulate the middle school staff and students for that. As you know, the referendum failed. So as early as December, maybe January, we're gonna start to have to shift some of the faculty and students around because we need more staff for BSI. So the classes are gonna start to get a little bigger already.
That it?
That's it.
Thank you.
Thanks. No, I'm good.
Thank you.
No, I see it's all under old business.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Paul?
No, it's coming up under old business.
Okay. Professional reports, Mike Finelli? I know the two mics. All right. Basketball courts, Frank, I figured
Yeah, I was gonna touch on it, but we could talk about it now. I
Yeah.
mean, they came out great.
they're finished. We received a bill from Halcon just
Yeah, I was
the
gonna
other,
ask you, are you signing off on
just
that?
the, well, yes.
Okay.
In fact, I did today, as a matter of fact, coincidentally, but obviously they knew they weren't gonna be able to get on tonight's agenda for any payment. It just was too late. So, in fact, we didn't get it till maybe Monday or Tuesday. In any event, it came in a hair under the contract. So basically right on budget. And if anybody hasn't seen it, I recommend you go and check it out. It's something to be proud of. It turned out real nice.
Yeah, and I heard, I've been getting some feedback on it.
Yeah, kids like it.
Well, Eric over, president of Boosters, take a look, he loves it.
Good. No, it's just, yeah, it's nice. Came out nice.
Yeah, and I've been talking to the kids on it, and they all love it.
Has anybody been adjusting the other basket?
No, we got a
Just out of
lot.
curiosity?
We got a lot,
Okay.
so.
Because it's, I've always wondered, when you lower it to 8 feet, give me a call, so I can go.
Go out there and dunk.
Yeah, exactly. That would be fun, right? Okay. On, I guess, good news. It's got a good component and a bad component. The good component is we were successful in getting another DOT grant for 2022 for Beatty's Road. That's always good. So now we have two. We have Rick Line Hill Road, Section 2, and we have Beatty's Road. Now, this is the bad part of it, relative to Beatty's in particular. Our cost estimate with the grant application was literally a hair under $300,000. We requested 250. We received 131. So that is roughly a $170,000 shortfall. Now we could probably phase it, shorten it up. And then you do then you'd apply for the balance of the road in, let's say, the 2023 applications. So there's a couple ways to skin the cat. I mean, it's, obviously we have a shortfall with Rick Line Hill Road Section 2, but not that much. That's much closer to being doable. We are going to prepare 2 memos for the 2 projects. We'll get them to you before next month's meeting. So you'll have them to chew on for when you get started with your budget for 2022. Now, again, you're going to need to do something with Rick Line Hill Road 2 next year. You don't need to do anything with Beatty's next year. Yes, you're really gonna have to get a flavor for how many tens of thousands of dollars we're talking about here, but it's nothing to sneeze at. It's a decent chunk of change, so it will certainly challenge you folks with your budget, I'm sure. So, and then otherwise, that's it for my end.
Michael, I'm assuming your memos are, besides highlighting the shortfalls and the costs, will also include the soft costs.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Yes, it will be. done this for years with these grants. There'll be it'll just what I kind of verbalized, but it'll be expanded upon, talk about the soft costs, talk about the reimbursables and so forth. So, yeah, I mean, it'll give you a much better flavor as you move into the budget season, and whether you just do Rick line next year, whether you try to do both. Doing both is going to be a big task. I certainly get that. So, but at least you'll have some better numbers to sink your teeth into.
Yes.
No, I'm sorry.
Paul?
Nope.
Anybody else? Mike, do you have anything out here or everything for executive?
It's all executive, yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna read off. I'm looking at it.
Okay. Old business, zoning enforcement follow-up. Frank, that you pretty much. Do you have anything?
Oh, yeah, so, no, I know Lisa she probably has an update on this stuff, or at least the building graffiti was the letter sent.
So Target was contacted and I think they had it taken care of in like 2 or 3 days. So they were very responsive about the retaining wall.
Not Target, but the owners of the property.
Correct. sorry.
Madison Properties,
Sorry about
yes.
that. Yeah. The other ones, when I reviewed the violation notices that the zoning officer had sent, he did not put the caveat in there, which our code says that he must include, stating that if they don't do it within the 10 days, we will do it. So in order to follow our code, I had him reissue those. Those have been mailed. I have the certified receipts here, so we're just gonna, follow through with the process now, which will obviously loop Joe in. And, in terms of remediating that site, I looked at today, you're gonna need a bulldozer to be able to get in there to take care of the graffiti. There's so much vegetation that's just
Well, we
grown up
have an
around the
ordinance for
building,
that
so.
too, though, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm just saying, to hand this to Joe and say, here, you gotta go, it's gonna be
We
big.
don't have to, I'm just throwing this out there. If your plate is filled, we
Right.
go out to Joe, can we just hire a
Well,
landscaper?
that's what I was gonna suggest, that I'll talk to Joe, we'll go out and we'll look at it, and
Okay.
then if it's something we have to hire somebody to do, obviously we'll confer with Mike and make sure we've got all our i's and cross our t's, but we might have to hire a contractor to get out there and take care of it, so. We'll stay on it.
Okay,
And Lisa, did we also ask Larry to include the, not so much the graffiti end of it, but the high grass and the shrubbery and all of that was included in the one letter, correct?
Yes,
That's what I thought, okay.
yeah, I mean, he has all the different sections of the code, so, it's like section 3-4, A, B, D, everything that applied, so I think he, clicked off all of them, so. And at this point, these were mailed 11/9. It says not received as of 11/9, so I think that we're in a position now to talk to Joe and.
okay.
Mike, if we do that, do we have to have a vote on the record to hire a contractor? We probably do, if we
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
for this, should we do that tonight so that it's not.
And what happens, you end up
delayed?
putting a lien on them?
Yes,
Yeah.
yep, just like taxes. And then you could do a motion not to exceed for,
Yeah. You know the properties we're talking about?
No, I didn't hear that.
Maybe we should.
Yeah, I was gonna
Touch
say,
on
I think
it.
you would have to get estimates so that you could throw on a not to exceed.
Yeah.
You're just pulling a number down right now. And I'm guessing that number is probably fairly substantial, so you want to make sure you can do it.
Yeah, I just hate to have it, delayed a month, but yeah, it's gonna be a big job when we look at it, so, anyway, we'll stay on it.
Did you want to touch on all these things that are 7A?
Well, I can touch on a couple of these
Oh,
things
okay, good.
that, which Larry did speak with the folks up at the AMVET boxes and stuff like that, and they've been fairly responsive. The day that he came in last Monday or Tuesday, he saw a bunch, and then I've done a follow-up phone call with them, discussing a couple of options, one of which is, to make sure that the no dumping sign gets put back up. And I had suggested, and they liked it, whether or not they do it or not, we don't have the ability to, was to mark on the boxes with more permanent signage that they're being monitored and fines and such can be, if caught dumping, fines would. And so they did that. They've also said that they're literally gonna try to be here on a daily basis now, not every other or every third day, to make sure that they clean up that mess.
Yeah, I drove by it the other day and there was chairs and.
Yeah, well, I was the one day last week and then they had come and then, but I've spoke to them and I think they're gonna try to beef up at least the signage side of it. And I told them to, to go to our code and pick it out and, label subject to a fine of such and such if caught. So that's the donation Dropbox, and that's got that one covered.
Anything else?
No,
that's
I
all
mean, these
got.
other ones, I think we know that
Yeah.
we know there's always these concurrent of snipe signs, so we know that. And then, yeah, I think I'm good on 7A.
Rec committee bylaws. Mike, did you have a chance to look at these?
I apologize, I did not look at those yet.
So can you look at them for next, make sure they're in compliance with the ordinance. Shared service agreement, clerk administrator, that'd be an executive. Leaf farm update, anything, or?
We're just waiting for them to send us the original deed and affidavit so that we can record it. So we haven't gotten it yet from the county.
Time door locks update, Joe, anything?
Parts are ordered, just waiting for them to receive them and then schedule work.
Okay, thanks. Job descriptions for the zoning code enforcement.
That'll be an executive.
That's gonna be, okay, and the administrative being executive, okay. New business, resolution 6521 is a budget transfer resolution. That's just the end of year normal transfers, right, Suzanne? So I'm looking for a motion to adopt resolution 6521. Anybody want to make the motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. Anybody have any questions, comments, discussion on it? Roll call?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes,
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
I'll make a motion that we open up a public hearing on ordinance number 109, 2021. An ordinance amending and supplementing chapter 7, subsection 716 entitled penalties. That's regarding truck traffic in the township, increasing the fines. Anybody want to second that motion?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone from the public would like to get up, make a comment or ask, make a comment about the ordinance? is Welcome to. It's about the ordinance only.
Well.
There's gonna be another public comment.
I am I'm totally in favor of it, as are a lot of the other neighbors on North Main Street, that the fines will be increased.
Yep.
We're hoping that will help, because usually that comes out of their pockets, not the pockets.
Can you have your name and address for the record for Lisa? I can see.
Lisa Howard, 405 North.
I know she knows that. Okay, thanks. Okay. Anyone else? I make a motion, we close public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll make a motion, we adopt ordinance number 109, 2021. Anybody want a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
Mike, now that that's done, will you send a letter to the municipal court advising them of this?
Oh,
update?
sure,
And
absolutely.
and we're requesting that the fine to be enforced.
And or the jail time or and the
Yes,
community
yeah.
service.
Take the truck. We're abandoning the road.
Let's look into that.
So. Okay. I'll make a motion. We open up public hearing for ordinance number 110, 2021. It's an ordinance establishing the position of OEM coordinator and deputy OEM coordinator. Anybody want a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wishing to make any comments about that ordinance? That's just, we're establishing these positions, which you already have, but we're just making it a formality. Seeing none, I make a motion to close public hearing. Anybody want a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion that we adopt ordinance number 110, 2021. Anybody want a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
I make a motion, we open up public hearing for ordinance number 111, 2021, an ordinance establishing the position of township attorney. Anybody want a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone want to make a comment regarding the position of township attorney? Seeing none, I make a motion, we close public hearing on ordinance 111, 2021. Anybody want a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll make a motion, we adopt ordinance number 111-2021. Anybody want a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
Make a motion, we open public hearing on ordinance 112-2021. An ordinance establishing the position of township engineer. Anybody want a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wants to make any comments? Could I have done these all together?
No, because they're an ordinance. you
I
gotta-
figured that.
Unfortunately, unlike resolutions, you gotta bring it individually.
Because people are falling asleep. Seeing none, I make a motion, we close public hearing ordinance 112-2021. Anybody want a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion, we adopt ordinance 112-2021. Anybody want a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
Make a motion, we open the public hearing ordinance 113-2021. Establishes position of zoning and code enforcement officer. Anybody want a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Floor is open. Anyone want to come up and make any comments? Seeing none, I'll make a motion. We close public hearing on ordinance 113-2021. Anybody want a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll make a motion. We adopt ordinance 113-2021. Anybody want a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
Frank, you want to introduce this ordinance? You'll make the motion?
Oh, yeah, I'll make the motion to introduce ordinance 114-2021 prohibiting memorials in parks. This is regarding prohibiting plaques on all the different donations that come in. I would say it's become an issue because it seems like everybody wants to donate something, wants their name on it, and we just don't think that's a good look for the park. So we put this ordinance in there to help us protect us from having these memorials everywhere. So I'll make the motion to introduce ordinance 114-2021.
Anybody want a second?
Second.
Any questions, comments, discussion on it? Seeing none, I guess roll call.
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
Sorry, before we do that, do we have to put that little change that we talked about or no?
No, because we
Okay.
did it in advance. Now yeah, that's fine.
You did it? Okay.
Yeah, the only thing that we changed from the one that was emailed out to everybody is just putting in the caveat that when it comes from open space to the township committee, you guys can
Yeah.
approve or deny it.
Not, maybe let me just read it. I'll read it.
Oh, sure.
So the changes, we have in it that we would like them to submit it to the Open Space and Parks Committee with input from the superintendent. Public Works, and we may choose to endorse the project and refer to the Township Committee, but what we added was the Township Committee can accept or reject the recommendation of the Open Space Committee. So that was the only addition. Okay, so I'll vote yes.
And
Yes.
Ms. McDermott?
Strikers Road traffic count. Did we already talk about that?
Oh, kind of.
It's Brian.
I would like to get a traffic counter out there just to do a study on how much traffic. Now I know that there's gonna be 800 trucks, the times that they're coming in and out, and see what's going on there, because like I said before, it's a lot of traffic already, and I don't know if the roads can handle that.
We talking about like actually hiring somebody to sit there and watch.
I was gonna contact the county.
County?
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
gonna
Waiting on
say,
them
it's-
for-
yeah,
Yeah.
they'll let us borrow theirs.
They'll let us
Yeah,
borrow the traffic
Didn't
counter.
we ask for
Well-
that? We were waiting for it to come in. right?
Yeah, so there was an issue with that because I guess they got rid of their obsolete ones and
Mhm.
then they were ordering new digital ones.
Okay.
And the last time, if you guys recall, when they sent back a letter and responded to the
Yeah.
engine brake and all that stuff,
Yeah.
they sent somebody out there
Mhm.
physically to do a count, so I don't think they have them yet. I mean, it's worth a
They
phone
did it on
call.
Strikers too,
You want
because
me
they
to
did it on Maple.
No, they did on Maple.
They did accuse.
But they
Yeah.
physically sent somebody
Yeah.
out to those locations
Yeah.
because they did not have the counters, so.
Oh,
Do you want me to contact?
Yeah.
I could contact the planning department. They're usually the
yeah.
ones that have them.
They were very responsive, so
Yeah.
if they got them in, I'm sure they would,
Yeah,
Yeah,
they did.
whenever they get them in, I would like to
Yeah.
see what's going on.
But on Maple, they only.
And I was gonna- and just when we Oprah the resolution for the warehouse there, when you're looking at whether you did or didn't, I know that they had to do a traffic study.
oh my God, yeah.
That'll be in there
Definitely.
also
Oh, yeah.
with the anticipation of how much it will and won't do and such like that. So
So Brian, are you going to contact them or you want me to?
Whatever you want to do,
Either way, okay,
tell me, and I can call Dave Deck or.
okay.
Basketball courts, I guess we already talked about that.
Well,
Anything else?
no, there is a
not
follow-up
this,
on
yeah.
that. So remember at the last meeting, we talked about full painting of the courts. I know Mike was looking into it. I just know what are the next steps.
Yeah, unless they cut, if it's 17.7, I don't think you can do it by way of a change order. I think you should bid it. Otherwise, they're gonna have to get under the 17.5 and see if you can get 2 other quotes. I mean, because especially now, because the job's done, so you can't really.
So, yeah, so
So
let's say
over-
we're going out for bid. We'd
Right.
like to get it done in the spring. How
Yes.
long would that take to get something out to bid? Let's say we don't, like last time, let's say we don't get offers.
Well, that's-
Well, we could put the thing out. You know, you
Put
can
it
start
out
working on it now, and then.
in December for,
That's what I was-
April painting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I mean,
why
you
don't,
can
that's
certainly
what I'm
do
saying.
that.
So we
Yeah,
make a
and I-
motion for that.
Yeah, because you probably have some of that stuff in the original bid, right? Didn't we have started somebody?
No, this is a full painting of the court, not
Oh,
the
okay,
striping.
all right.
This is different. This
Yeah.
came
Yeah,
up
we should get going on that, and
afterwards.
then that way, if you don't get quotes, then we can, because you gotta
Yeah.
go out twice. If you don't get anything twice, then you can go negotiate. So it's probably not a bad idea to get going on that. and then-
Yeah,
Can
I
since
think,
we're so close on the dollar amount, like, can we solicit for a couple of quotes instead?
Sure,
like, Immediately,
sure.
and then maybe spare
That-
the
that-
expense of the bid spec?
that's
Yeah.
what I was gonna do.
There's only
I wasn't gonna put it out to bid.
$200.
It's
Okay.
crazy to do a bid spec. Just put it
I
out
know,
for
I
a
know
quote.
Joe said
Exactly.
you may have some ideas.
Yeah, I talked to the people that I get our crack sealer and stuff. They sell the paint. And they gave me a couple names of some vendors also, so
All
I
right,
can
so,
get the
Even
numbers.
better.
and
Oh,
Can I do
perfect.
that in
yeah,
advance
that's
of
fine,
December?
that's fine.
Okay.
Do you need any formal action for Lisa to pursue that?
No, just authorize Lisa to solicit quotes. Actually, yeah.
Yeah,
just
I'll make
solicit
a
quotes for
motion to
the-
authorize Lisa to solicit quotes for painting of the courts.
Anybody want a second?
Only thing I would need is there, what court we want to have painted, so I can leave them know.
Lisa's got, we were looking to paint the whole thing.
Okay,
They do
But
have a
there's an
sample.
example
okay,
that I sent to Lisa. You can take a look.
all right, as long as I have that and I can hand off to them, so
Yeah.
I know what I'm telling them.
Yeah, because I don't. We're looking for them to give us ideas. you know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
okay.
The idea is to paint the one way and the other one's the other way, correct?
Right, but
Yeah,
then
okay.
there's different ways to do it.
You will, because they're,
'Cause
they
you could- you
overlap,
could paint the
exactly.
Keys
Yeah,
one color.
Yeah.
You know. All right, and then the other thing is,
Well, you made a motion.
oh,
Yeah, I have a
I'm sorry.
motion and a second.
for
I
Frank's
second.
motion.
Lillian seconded.
Somebody second?
I did.
Oh, okay. Well,
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
yes,
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
And Frank, not to cut you off, but Chief wanted that held in executive, the next part.
okay,
For the
that's
cameras.
fine. And then the last thing, I know, Joe, we talked about, just so everybody know that we were gonna put gravel in from the
Yes,
parking lot.
absolutely. Matter of fact, I got the white lines. I'm just waiting
Okay,
for not wet conditions and muck and.
Yeah, no,
mud,
that's
but
fine.
Make it easy.
just want everybody to know that there is gonna be a gravel walkway going
You
from
got
the
it.
parking lot. to the
I saw that
courts.
you got the shed
Okay.
moved. That's nice too.
Well, we moved that before the
Yeah,
rehab.
That looked nice.
Yeah.
I do have an update from the OS, if you don't mind.
Yep.
So Target just came for an approval, just so everybody knows, they're gonna be putting in, what was the number of
24.
24 drive up, online shopping spots. So you're gonna see this whole in the middle. And then we talked about the need of redevelopment.
You're in,
Yeah, so I think we were gonna get some quotes.
there's estimates from the
Yeah.
planner, right?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, that was it.
Anybody else have anything on that? Or on anything in the new business? Nothing new to bring up in new business? Correspondence, Lisa, do you have anything?
Just what was in your packets, the availability of the next DOT grant and routine stuff.
I'll make a motion, we open public comment. Anybody want a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone for the public wishing to come up and make a comment is welcome to come up.
So, as I stated before, my name is Lisa Haller. I live on North Main Street. The truck traffic has gotten ridiculous over the last year, let's say. Since I've been working from home, I'm home every day watching it go past the front of my house. And although it's intermittent, which makes it a little harder for the police department to keep track of, I do understand that. It was suggested, possibly putting larger signs, no truck traffic and weight restrictions. I don't know if that's gonna help because coming from a family that owned heavy equipment and trucks, basically, you know where you're not supposed to be and you're trying to beat the system. And if you're not being ticketed, you're gonna keep doing it. So I was very happy to hear about the increased fines passing, because hopefully that will also deter some of that. And a lot of times the dispatchers, they know where the trucks are not gonna get ticketed or are not being monitored as much. And that's where they route their trucks through. So it's kind of a comprehensive thing, but we really do need to make a little bit more of an effort to stop this. Sooner or later, somebody's gonna get creamed on South Main Street on those S turns, because those trucks cannot stay in their own lane going around those curves. And I have coming up from the highway, have encountered tractor trailers over the yellow line. But because I know this is a problem, I tend to hug the other side. Not everybody does that. So sooner or later, this will be a horrible accident. It's just waiting to happen.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hi, Vicky Little, 632 South Main. Could you clarify, you talked a little bit about a DOT grant for Beatty's Road. I'm just trying to understand the process. When you apply for those grants, don't you have to use, because you said that you don't have to do it next year, but don't you have like a time frame that
Yes.
you have to use that
2
money?
years.
And you have to use it for what you applied for?
Yes, yes.
Correct, okay. So what would be done down there? Is it like paving? Is it putting in sidewalks or?
I'm not sure.
Wait till the answer
Okay,
after we
I was
close
just gonna
public
say.
comment.
Okay, yeah,
okay.
that was it. I just want to kind of understand what was going on down there.
Okay, happy. Anyone else? I'll make a motion to close public comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And Mike, you want to answer? Sure. When we make the application, Vicky, it's the lion's share of the money and the project is resurfacing, asphalt. There's other things that sometimes we will add some storm drainage pipe. Sometimes we'll add guide rail. Sometimes we'll do striping and so forth, but the lion's share of the money ends up going towards paving. They're primarily resurfacing grants. Sometimes there's other improvements that get included, whether that be drainage, whether that be guide rail, signage, things like that. That answer your question? Okay.
Rich, regarding the truck traffic, I know you were forced to use Dom to cover shifts and stuff. Is he pretty much back on just doing the truck again or not?
Unfortunately, that was September. Last month was for. No, this month, everybody's using up their vacation for the.
Yeah.
So these last few months. Yeah, so last month, again, that was, it was September was the last time we primarily used them for that truck
Mhm.
traffic, and then in October, yeah, there was a lot of vacation use this month, same thing. In December, now that we did a budget transfer, thinking of just putting them back out there, we're doing that, and, we're just gonna
Well,
have.
I was just gonna ask that, in the budget, how, your overtime budget,
Yeah, so being.
are you gonna have money left for the rest of November and December? Where maybe would even pay the overtime to have one of the guys come in and have 2 cars out there, just sitting on the roads, and they're not even stopping every truck that comes.
I guess I had to see what the exact transfer was. And whatnot. I would rely on.
Either that or like just for 2 hours, park on
I
North
can-
Main and stop every truck and ticket every truck, then move to South. Literally, that's all they would do.
I know absolutely the officers would be all for that, so if that's something that you'd like done.
If we have the money.
Yeah.
I mean, is anybody
Yeah.
against using
No.
that money? I mean, it's budgeted if you have money left in your overtime budget. But keep that separate, because I don't want to have an argument with you, Mark, where you're gonna say, last year I used this much money in overtime, but I got a question.
I give a
We're
detailed
taking the heat
overtime
for the
report.
November, we're taking the heat for the December overtime bill.
Right.
I got a question regarding enforcement. If a resident takes a video of a truck and you have their license plate going down a road illegally, is that something that we can enforce?
I guess they'd have to come into court and testify that they can authenticate the video, because it's not like you're checking speed. It's like if the video showed that they were on, that street and that's the license, it's pretty tough to say, no, that's not it. If you clearly, it's kind of like when you go through the toll booth and they have the picture of your license plate.
So would the ticket come from the resident or would it come from the town?
Well, the ticket could come from the town, but the resident would have to be subpoenaed to come testify in municipal court.
The citizen would sign that complaint. Yeah, it wouldn't be us.
So could we buy cameras and put them on the streets and just use them, like the old red light cameras?
You know what, you
I was gonna
probably
ask that.
could.
Well, you know what, you research that,
All right.
Yeah, research that.
because if we can't, maybe we'll buy some cameras.
I would
and
love
put 'em
that
up and
too.
We're just right every truck. that
Just
goes
if they're
through.
coming through here, you just
Yeah,
take a
I
pic,
When we issue summonses to truck to overweight truck,
Deputize the
it's
town
to the
committee to
driver,
take
it's not to the
videos.
company.
Mhm.
I don't know. That's
I'll do it.
just what we do.
Now you know. So now you're so town
Oh,
committee man.
if we could put cameras up.
Do you know if that
Oh,
was
that'd
buy
be
cameras
better.
and put it
Yeah,
on
that's even better.
Yeah, a lot of places have them. I know, like Hohapu, member of Doherty.
I mean,
Yeah,
they
red light
get the
cameras
maximum
can't do
fines to
anymore,
pay
so
for
I
itself
can't-
in a couple
I don't
months.
think
I'm telling you, there's that
they
much truck traffic.
Yeah, and it's not like people, if,
Like to know.
Oh, they would pay for themselves.
Yeah,
they shouldn't be there. It's like pretty tough to tell when you got a picture of them.
Since the
with
legislation took away the red light cameras, I don't.
that's what I'm wondering.
That's
don't
what
think
I'm.
we
But they still have cameras though, but the
Yeah.
red light ones, that's what I gotta check.
You get back to us.
Yeah,
next
check on
month.
that, yeah.
You start looking for cameras.
I know we have them in Hackettstown.
Really
I
good
know.
ones. The old red light cameras.
It's, I don't, if I can add, I was kind of waiting for open public comment. Some of the officers had asked if the town could do something about posting signage for the tractor trailers parking in the lots. In areas where we can post signs, which is kind of minimal. I was speaking to Joe about it. Dumont, or I'm sorry, New Brunswick Ave, going into the businesses there, but then maybe reaching out to the businesses to ask them, as Paul did with the dump, with the bids, but signage for them, just, to divert that, because there has been a lot of trucks parking in the lots, and it's, I mean, we're stuck, because a lot of those trucks, it's understandable that they've got nowhere to go because the truck stops are filled, the highways are filled where they're not even supposed to park, and they're over their hours. And, unfortunately, we're faced with, we tell them to move, they're over their hours, they go out and they hit somebody. It's their fault, yes, because they're over their hours, but there's just not a lot of places for them
Yeah,
to go.
that's.
But if we can move them around, there are some locations out of our township that they park that we push them to.
Yeah.
But if we can get that signage to help us with dealing.
Here's what I don't
with this.
understand on that whole thing. So they're all over Route 78. It's disaster.
Oh, it's
Right? It's all the rest stops overflowed, the truck stops overflowed. I don't see it on the Pennsylvania side like that. So how come their hours are okay on the Pennsylvania side? When they get to New Jersey, their hours are over. They all gotta park on the shoulders. But Pennsylvania, they don't allow it.
I couldn't answer.
I know you couldn't answer that, but that's the problem we have, because the mentality is, oh, we don't want them on the road, their hours are over, but Pennsylvania, they don't care. They don't allow them on their shoulders. But we got them everywhere. It's like an invasion.
I've seen them over.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't
Not
wanna
as
be-
many. You might
I
see
don't wanna
one
be
or
the
two.
argument there, but I see that over there
Where?
regularly.
Where? I
Route
drive there
thir-
right now. You won't see it
Route
anywhere.
33 is
Not 33, it's
jammed
about
up.
78.
Well, 78 too, but particularly just before coming into Jersey.
Yeah. I've
Yeah,
seen them there.
no, I
I
see
don't
him
see-
there.
I
And
see
we have the
one,
big
not
wide
to the
shoulders
extent
for
over
it,
here.
like as far as right by the way station, the shoulder's so wide with the entrance lane, so it's kind of an enticing spot. for them
And
also.
that's hot, yeah, but.
I drive on 78 all the time. I don't see it, nothing close to what we have, not even close. But anyway, that's just me venting.
It's the
So
whole state though, like in New Jersey. I mean, you go down, they're parked on 70 all the way down to 280, past 287,
Yeah.
all the way across the entire state.
So
I
basically,
assume 80's the same way. I don't know. Up there.
Mm-hmm.
can I speak with Joe about getting signs where we can place signs?
yeah.
Okay.
You know, I wanted to address that one other thing. Can we require that in the zoning change? That these businesses have to put up signs, no overnight tractor trailing parking?
Well, I think we already have, I think we looked that up. I think we already have an ordinance that prohibits.
No, we have a
that.
warrant that prohibits it, but can we say we require them to put up these signs?
I don't know if we can, I'll check on that. I don't know if we can require them to put signs up prohibiting it.
Our
'Cause we've already-
ordinance, the problem was the enforcement issue because it says no overnight. They literally have to watch the truck all night.
Yeah, but in the ordinance, it says, like, it actually has the hours, like, so as long as you, right, I mean, I think it's.
Yes,
something-
we have that. We have that
Straightened out.
figured
You
out
got this
now.
straightened out now?
Yeah, it's just, yeah, that's why I was saying about with asking the business. I mean, Paul, if he has a great relationship with them, if he asks them, if we ask the businesses instead of ordering them first, maybe they might put some signs out.
I think they probably would. Are they parking over, they're not parking over at Walmart?
I think
Walmart's got
Walmart-
signs everywhere.
Walmart's
Plus
got
they
signs
have
everywhere.
signs
No, but
everywhere.
Walmart,
They have their
Walmart has their
own
own
security.
security.
Yeah,
They have signs everywhere.
well, that's.
Yeah, they got their own
that's,
security.
Well, that's because Coacon passed an ordinance requiring 24-hour security on retail establishments with over a certain square footage.
Oh, I don't know.
All right.
I don't know as far as,
Can we do that?
you're familiar with? It's a POHAT law ordinance. You can
We
look
can
it
get
up.
a copy.
Benbrook, I'm pretty sure.
There we go.
Let's do it.
It
Does that-
requires security, but that was, the only places it applies to really is where Stop and Shop is and where Walmart is.
Are requiring mall security if you're over.
Over a square footage.
Yeah, we have the same thing in Mansfield. They require 24-hour,
Yeah.
and as long as the stores are open, they have to have security at least an hour after everybody leaves. So if the
Right.
store closes at 11, they gotta have security, physical security there
Right,
till
yeah.
midnight. And then an hour before they go.
Yeah, because I know like the Stop and Shop, before COVID, like the movies were open till like 2 in the morning, they had security there
Yeah.
till 2 in the morning.
Yeah,
and
I've seen
stuff.
them right.
Actually, got two things to look at. Right? If we can force them to put signs,
The security one, I know you can do based upon,
it's a
so
no-brainer, then I'm in.
Yeah.
you just gotta decide the parameters, like, but I'll. Get something drafted up.
Is that gonna be a problem with, like you're saying, hours of operation? Like, cause our business is closed at 10 and those other businesses like Coed are open much later. Or can you contour to anything you want?
You can do anything you want. Yeah, so if ours are open till midnight, you can say they have to have it an hour past or 1 o'clock in the morning. So it would just be tailored, whatever
Is Club
Greenwich
Metro,
wants, that's what
is
we'll do.
they still open 24 hours, the gym?
I think they're closed down for a short.
I think they
while
closed
now.
for, but that would only be like 2 hours, it would not be
Yeah.
required.
And again,
That'd
like
be
you said,
good.
you could do it by size, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
you
a
could do it
small
by size,
business, you
but
won't put
not
that
small.
restriction on them, but if it's a mall, like there's certain
Yeah.
parameters we can put
But
in there.
would it
So
go on the business or would it go on the mall owner?
you're the mall owner.
Eventually.
Yeah, if they
Right,
go
it's
to the
gonna be
venue,
right.
he's gonna-
Okay. And then I just want to follow up with Lisa here too. And I mean, there's certainly some signs that could probably be improved by being a little bit larger, but on Route 57, the only 2 signs approaching North Main Street that say that there's a weight restriction are to be exceptionally small. They're on county posts that's designated as County 627, and underneath of it, it has a restriction sign. And they're easily 100 yards off of North Main Street in Liberty. So with traffic lights, the service station there, I could probably see truckers missing that. The next sign that they are going to see, they don't see it until they're actually physically made the left-hand turn onto North Main Street. And that sign's respectable, which I think is, what the state ones are and stuff like that. So without asking the state to put new signage up in there, I think if those 2 signs just indicated with a larger sign versus, and I mean, it's about this big. If you got them bigger one, again, is it gonna solve the problem? No, but it might make a couple of people or truck drivers more aware of the situation. But I know it's a challenge to talk to state people on, and I mean, the last time I had to get a senator to help me fix the one sign at the end of the ramp on 173. You know, I mean, I had to get a senator to make that phone call. So I certainly don't know that I want to bother him again with this signage, but it'd be worth finding the right person to send the right letter to. I mean, it's 4 volts. Signs are already made.
Okay. Good.
Yep.
Anything else? Anything else? Okay. We're gonna go to executive session and we're gonna talk about some bonding issues for fire department and police department, shared service agreement for township clerk administrator. Mike, you have a couple issues to discuss?
Yeah, Target, my letter I sent to Target after last month, they did respond. And then at the LMR, potential litigation,
And then
and he'll kind of discuss.
security cameras for the basketball courts. So, with that, I'll make a motion to go into executive session. Give me a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I guess I'm hoping we're out and we're done 45 minutes.
Yeah, mine are pretty, I know my things are pretty quick.
Yeah. If you want to wait, you're welcome, but otherwise, thank you. Enjoy your
Thank
night.
you. Yes.
Vicky.
Happy
Yes, happy
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Good night.
On Thursday.
Oh, yeah, I didn't recognize her.
Yeah, I
Okay.
forgot she's.
I do now.
I saw, I knew it was her.
No, I didn't know.
I thought, whenever I see something.
Chief, beard's coming in pretty good.
Jen,
Yes,
our,
yes.
Since I got chief, I think I need you.
Oh, okay. Geez, all right.
Yeah, it's still,
I didn't
it's still got a lot of dark in there.
No?
See, I don't grow one for that reason. Mine comes in all. It's too aggressive.
That's, yeah, mine's coming off on.
Is it? You know, Saturday, she just changed her hours.
I always get to like 2 weeks and then I'm like, yeah, I can't take it.
I don't like it. Only it's motivation to lose weight. Oh, yeah. Look at my bearded face and the itchy. So now I know I lost the weight, now I can take
Take the beard off.
Okay, yeah.
Bob, you want me to stay or?
Well, I don't think.
It didn't seem like.
I don't think we have
a session.
Aye.
Aye. Did you get that or? you want me to-
Yeah, motion by Bob, second by Lorraine, right?
Yeah.
At 9:10.
Where we discussed
Yeah.
contractual matter dealing with the firehouse, personnel matter dealing with township administrator, potential litigation dealing with LMR, attorney-client privilege matters dealing with, one was panhandling, the second was engine braking, and otherwise truck enforcement. No official action was taken. Copies of these minutes will be available at such time as the committee determines there is no harm to the public interest.
I'll make a motion to authorize the clerk to take action as discussed in executive session. Anybody want a second?
A second.
Roll call?
Bob, any- Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. McCutcheon?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
I'm looking for a motion to adopt the core duties for a zoning officer position.
A second.
No, I'm looking for the motion. You make the
I'll
motion.
make the
Anybody
motion.
want to second that
I'll
motion?
second.
Okay. Roll call. I didn't, no discussion, right? Roll call.
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Baylor?
Yes.
Mr. Beam?
Yes.
Mr. McCutcheon?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
I think we needed any others, right? Anybody have anything else?
No.
Anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
I make. a
To
motion
advertise?
No,
Oh,
that's what the
advertise.
authorized the clerk to do.
Yeah.
in exec-
I'll
Yeah.
make the motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Have a happy Thanksgiving,
Happy
everyone.
Good luck with your
Thanks for
surgery.
the coffee again.
Yeah.